Welcome to another Rowdy Thursday. And ladies and gentlemen, that can mean one thing and one thing only. It is a brand new episode of A Worthy Addiction.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, a show like no other, hosted by none other than me and my Rowdy brother. So I'm not going to waste any time tonight. And I have my notes here, so I have something prepared for you. Ladies and gentlemen, he wants to be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch him is his real test. To train him is his cause. He will travel across the land, searching far and wide to teach Pokemon to understand how worthy they are inside. Ladies and gentlemen, my man, Unworthy.
God damn. That might have been your best one ever. Holy shit. I wasn't prepared for that.
You were.
Now I'm even more pumped up than I already was. That was beautiful.
I'm glad. I did that for you. That was all for you.
I knew, I'm even gonna look over the fact that you had to read it off of your phone.
I don't know the words. So I was trying to memorize it all day, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna read it. Forget it.
Well, I may be the unworthy Pokemon collector, but this man right here to my right, your left tonight. This is the back-to-back 2014-2015 World's Pocket Pool Champion in the Greater Connecticut area, Mr. Toy Addict 17 himself.
Thank you for that beautiful intro. Thank you. And for anybody that's watching, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on a replay, we appreciate you. We thank you for tuning in and checking us out and just hanging out with us tonight. So as always, if you want to hit that like and subscribe, please do so. If not, thank you. We appreciate you anyways. We love you anyways. So Unworthy, it's a special day today. I don't know if you see. It is. It's a very special day.
What is it? What's so special about it?
Today
other than it's Thursday.
It's Thursday, but it's Superman's birthday today. So as you can see, I'm wearing my Superman t-shirt today, and I'm super excited. You saw how I did that, right? I'm super excited because if anybody doesn't,
with how super good you are at superly imposing the word super into your sentences.
I'm super excited. So anybody that's I've been seeing a lot of people take photos today, like toy photography using Superman in your photos. We had a big announcement from James Gunn today. He revealed a little bit of the new Superman costume for the new movie, which is not Superman Legacy anymore. It's Superman now. And it's a different logo. He's going with the inspired Kingdom Come logo, which
I think it's a bad move. I think it's a bad move.
Honestly, I'm okay with interpretation. I just want a Superman movie. Honestly, I don't care who plays Superman. Unworthy, you could play Superman, and I'll go watch it. We're living in a time where DC, James Gunn is taking.
I don't think I've ever been more insulted. What am I, that fucking boring? I'm that boring. I could play Superman. Thanks a lot, man.
Anyways, you're not going to kill my vibe. So yeah, I'm very, very much excited that, that he announced that. And again, for everybody who's a Superman fan, I hope you're celebrating the Man of Steel, the Boy Scout today, and maybe watching those classic Christopher Reeve movies that, kind of like spark this fandom for you maybe, or whatever, comics or cartoons, whatever it is. I hope you're enjoying it today. But Unworthy, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad that I didn't know it was Superman's birthday because I feel like that would have probably brought my day down a little bit. But I'm doing well. I can't complain.
Okay, that's good.
How about yourself? You just said you're celebrating Superman's birthday.
I'm doing fantastic. I feel super today. I feel like I'm faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. More powerful than a locomotive. I don't know about leaping tall buildings. I don't know about all those, but I'm feeling real super today. But listen, enough about us. We have a special guest tonight, and I don't want to waste any time introducing him.
You fucked around long enough.
I sure enough did. So, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm also going to read this because I love the caption on this person's page. So I'm going to read it. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest for tonight is a concept artist, toy designer, scruffy looking Nerf header. And ladies and gentlemen,
Herder. Oh my God. What in the hell is wrong with you?
Ladies and gentlemen, Neca's own Mr. Blainer Things in the house. What's going on, Blaine? How's it going? I'm sorry.
Hello.
He
How are you
fucked your
doing
intro all up. I'd be pissed off if I was you. I'd be like, "That's it. I'm not doing this show."
I can just roll that into an Elvira quote. How's your header? Well, I haven't had any complaints.
Right, I like it.
I love it.
Well, Blaine, listen, thank you again. I know we chatted a little bit in the backstage, but like we appreciate you coming on and taking the time to hang out with the Rowdy boys tonight. And again, the show is about you. The spotlight's on you today, just to get to know you as just as a person, and also just all the great things that you do, man. Because from just seeing your page, you do a lot of amazing things, not just Neca related. You're also a collector. You dabble into the toy photography. You do unboxings and all this stuff. So we're definitely gonna showcase all that stuff tonight and just show it, like let everybody know who you are. So before we do that, I mean the chat's here. We gotta show love to the third host of the show because they've been waiting patiently. So we're gonna show them some love. So for starting off with, we got Mr. Wade Crates. What's going on, dude? Welcome. Got our homie No Chewing in the house. Had a fantastic episode with them yesterday with Toy Father and No Chewing from the TPC Top 10. It was so. Hey Man was like a good reveal last night. Hey Man was great. We got our homie Jedi Jack. What's going on, Jedi Jack? What's going on? We got one of the hosts of the Lazy Boy Sundays and the Pig Bar, Mr. Blitz Figs. What's going on, dude?
What's up? We
got our homie Tripping with Toys. What's going on? What's going on? One of our Rowdy brothers in the house, Mr. Clintastic 4. What's up? What's up? We got the lady killer, Mr. Green Geek 88 in the house. And then one of the hosts of the Hoodcast AF and also the Weekly Habit, Mr. Everybody's favorite dad, Mr. Cobra Dad in the house. What's up, Cobra Dad? Thank you, everybody who's watching, tuning in, joining us, coming on to show our guests some support and some love. So please, if you have not head to his page, go hit to his page. Go give him a like. Go give him a follow. Go check out his amazing work. Go show him some support. So, guys, it's Superman's birthday. So I have two discussions, questions planned tonight. For one of them, I had to do it a Superman related one. So I'll start with that one, and then we'll move on to the next. So
hold on before you do that. Can I just point out the fact that we've talked like 15 times today. On the phone, and not once did you mention that it's Superman's birthday, and you're acting like a guy that just found this out 15 minutes ago. Well, I'm being honest with you.
I mean, I can't tell you that because you're not a Superman fan. Like I can only have conversations with people who are Superman fans. I can't do that with you. Like would be a boring. It would be a quick conversation. I would end up hanging up on you. But I have a great icebreaker question tonight for us. We have two. So the first one is Superman related, and question is, what Superman villain would you like to see in a future live action film? Villain that hasn't been done in live action yet. So what villain? So we've had a couple. We've had Lex Luthor. We've had Doomsday. We've had Richard Pryor. We've had Richard Pryor. So like, think of comics like what General Zod. We've had the Kryptonians. So like, what villain do you guys would love to see? Like now that Superman, it's not Superman Legacy anymore. Now that the Superman movie is coming out, we're hoping that it does great and it expands into like maybe a thriller franchise. But like, what villain would you like to see in these movies?
I think if if it's going to be an origin movie, maybe Brainiac, and kind of go with the whole. I really enjoyed like the animated series from the 90s, and to be honest, I don't know how true it was to Brainiac's like comic counterpart, but I liked how in the animated series they kind of wrote it in that Brainiac was essentially behind the corruption and the downfall of Krypton, and then he's seeking out this last son of Krypton.
That definitely, I remember that episode in the animated series. That would definitely be like, it kind of makes sense. I thought that's the direction that Zack Snyder was going with, like, because they had I thought that's what he was going to do. But I mean, that would be dope. That would be, I think that's a character that definitely needs to like have like his like intro now.
I think they've kind of rolled that into like continuity in the comics too, because like at least like in the Injustice comics and the games subsequently, like that was kind of the reason of Krypton's demise.
Yeah.
I think for myself, I would like to see. I agree. I'd like to see Brainiac. I think he should be like a Justice League villain, so like kind of like
Mm,
the Thanos level threat. So to start off with somebody for a solo Superman,
mhm.
I would probably say I would like to see Metallo. I don't think he's not gotten any kind of live action. I
Yeah.
think he was in like the Superman. I think he had like something in the newer Superman show. But
Yeah. I think it
I'd
was
like
in the
to see him in a
Smallville
movie.
episodes too. Yeah. Um, for me, I think I would two awesome mentions, by the way. I probably would have picked one of those two, but like if I could pick somebody, one of his villains, I would say Lobo. Like I want to see Lobo in a movie. I want to see Jason Momoa be Lobo. Like that's my dream cast. I think that's a lot of people's dream cast
Yeah.
for Lobo. I think he just fits that part. And I think he would like I don't know. It's something about the Fast and the Furious movie. Like I got those Lobo vibes. Like it's just him being just silly and just being such an a-hole in that movie. I'm like, man, they need to just make him Lobo now. So definitely Lobo would be one. And I could, I want the dog. I want the bike. I want
For the
everything.
longest time, I used to fantasy cast the dude that played Abraham in The Walking Dead. I thought he would be a good Lobo. And
Oh,
then
okay.
as soon as people started mentioning, Jason Momoa, I was like, oh yeah, dog, that is pretty fucking obvious. That would be a great option.
Yeah, no. It's crazy how like some folks like you see them and you're like Willem Dafoe, right? Imagine Willem Dafoe as the Joker. Like that's another, another people's like dream cast as a character, like as an old man Joker. Like it's just some people like fit the part, but I don't know if they will ever play that part, right? It's like one of those things like you gotta like beg them or give them a lump sum of money. Um, yeah. So, any other characters do you guys think like for this new Superman movie that you guys would want? I mean, it doesn't have to be a villain. Like who? Like what other like supporting characters you would like to see? Like I mean, there's so many because I feel like
I
he's
want to
starting
see
from.
John Henry Irons get introduced like
Oh
as soon as
yes,
possible.
yes, definitely a steal. We got to have a steal. I would love like later down the line, like if it's like if the franchise is doing really well and like I believe in James Gunn. I think James Gunn to do a really good job. He took characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? These characters that like a lot of people didn't know who they were, and he made them really popular. They were really, really popular. And the movies were great. So like I could see him like taking characters like like what's the Mick I can never say his name. The little Mixel Pixel, I can never say his name.
Yeah.
The little the little
Yeah, I know
entity living
Mixel Pixel.
yeah, that he would be dope. Like I could
Hard
see
to
him
pronounce
like
because there's no fucking vowels in his name.
So any other memorable mentions, Blaine? You got anything else for that?
No, I mean, I do think you're right in that he'll probably focus on some deep cut characters.
Yeah.
I to be fully transparent, I really wish that we would just get a pre-established Superman movie at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I not that I have comic book movie fatigue as a whole, but origin stories I'm like over. Like it clearly worked for Spider-Man. It worked for I really enjoyed, which was controversial at first, and maybe still is, but I really enjoyed Batfleck. And I was I think he was just the first Batman, the first live action Batman to really kind of just look like a live action comic book Batman.
Yeah.
And I liked that we got him as like grumpy fucking Bruce.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm done with the origin stories. Like when X-Men comes into the MCU, already X-Men. I don't need like there's so many origin stories you can easily access and find.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Sorry, tangent, but
the people who are gonna go see these movies, they already know who the fuck these characters are. They don't need the origin story.
Yeah.
Like I like the fact that you mentioned Ben Affleck because
I'm sure you do. Shut your fucking mouth.
Worthy is like that he hates, like he's not the biggest fan of Ben Affleck. And if you catch an old episode we had a poll. Like shout out to like that Pattinson movie, like Batman movie was great. It's an amazing movie. But we try to compare scenes, and that I always said that warehouse scene in Batman versus Superman, that scene was like peak like Arkham Asylum game type. Like that scene right there alone was just like the best. That's Batman right there. So,
Mhm.
kind of shout out to a couple of people joining us. Star Unlimited, what's going on, dude?
Oop.
We got Mr. KJ Smith in the house. What's up? We got the Chain Brothers. What's going on? Johnny Rhino, what's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome everybody that's just joining us. Awesome. Thank you guys. Now, for my second one, I know this is the one we probably were all thinking about. I didn't put it up, and I'm not gonna put up. So one of the next second kind of question is what movie, and it could be from any genre, that you guys consider as a hidden gem. Like it's a movie that a lot of people haven't watched, but it's like one of those movies that when you watch it for the first time, you're like, how the hell did you not? People haven't seen this. Like this is good. I got a good one. There's one called Monster, right? And it's about, I don't know if you guys ever seen it. It's like it's on Netflix. And shout out to Bill, because Bill is the one who put me onto this movie. And the story is about a mom and her daughter who have like this really like dysfunctional relationship, and she's like gonna go drop her off to her dad, and then I don't want to spoil it, so they ended up driving, car ends up breaking down, and then something happens, and there's this creature in the woods, right? That fucking movie was like so, like I watched it, like after watching it that first time, like I watched it another 6 times because it was that fucking good. And like for it to be a movie where I'd be like, hey, have you ever seen Monster? And they was like, oh yeah, with the 2 girls, right? She was killing people. I'm like, no, not that one. I'm like, I'm talking about like that. Yeah, right? No, it's not. No, it's like,
I was gonna say that's not that hidden. That's the one with Charlize Theron. That's not that hidden of a gem.
It's crazy. So I'm like, yeah, have you seen that movie? So they're like explaining it. Yeah, I saw it. They're explaining scenes from that other movie. I'm like, oh no, it's about the mom and the daughter with the monster in the woods. They was like, no, what the hell are you talking? I was like, but you gotta watch it. So again, that movie alone, if you haven't watched Monster, go check it out. It should be on Netflix, and if it's not up there, like see if like maybe Tubi or somebody has it and they're streaming it for free. But I'm telling you, it's a phenomenal horror movie. Like I love that they don't show the creature as much. Sometimes those horror movies those are the kind of the horror movies that I like, where they don't quickly show you what the creature is, or
they're not too quick to give up the cookie,
exactly. So it's one
fear
of those
of the
films.
unknown.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
what made
like,
you like afraid of the dark.
Exactly,
because you don't know what's in the dark.
Paranormal Activity. That was one of those movies where when I watched the first one, it was like I love not knowing and not seeing it, but after the second one, I was like, you were expecting somebody to get dragged off the fucking bed. I'm like, I know what's gonna happen now. So
I was
like
the first movie, I was terrified the entire time, and then the very last scene, like the whole time I was like, how am I gonna sleep tonight? Like this really getting me. And then the last scene when it shows like the dumb demon face, I was like,
right?
Well, now I can sleep.
Yeah, that's how I felt about the autopsy of Jane Doe. Like it was a super suspenseful, scared the shit out of me the whole way through, and then they finally get her out of the hospital, and in the ambulance, like they're driving her away. She's dead, a corpse, but and all this shit's happening in the autopsy room. And then when they finally get out of the fucking the hospital or whatever they're in, and it turns out like she's a witch, and like she's not actually dead, she's causing it, and like her skin turns gray, and then she opens her eyes. It's like, well, that fucking ruins this whole movie. Whole movie blown. I was so scared. Now I'm like, oh, it's some stupid bullshit about a witch again.
So Worthy, on that note, what is a hidden gem movie for you that you would want people to watch? Like you saw it for the first time and you were like, wow, like this is a really good movie. Like a lot of people should watch this movie.
I would, like I was mentioning backstage before we went live, I don't get a chance to watch a whole lot other than what my kids want to watch. I would say as far as like older movies that I don't know how popular it is, but Powder is always one that sticks out to me.
Okay.
With the albino cat that had like the telekinesis powers and shit like that. That was kind of
There's a throwback.
It's an old one. It's an old one. And it's probably more popular
it's not
than
that
I,
old.
than
Hey.
I think. I mean, I remember watching it the first time I remember watching it. I was probably, I don't know, probably like 9 or 10 years old. And I'm a lot fucking older than that now. So.
Blaine, what's a hidden gem for you, man? A movie?
Honestly, I always think that the movies that I like are so mainstream, So I was like really racking my brain, and I always do like holiday themed, like 12 Days of Christmas movies or 31 Nights of. And two that I was so shocked. One was like well, not a Halloween movie, but I love campy horror, and it was Serial Mom, the John Waters film. Like I was shocked at how many people didn't know that movie. I was like, Kathleen Turner, Ricky Lake, Matthew Lillard. Like, wait, what? How do you? What? Pussy Willow's Dottie? So I think that's mainstream, but I guess people don't. I've
never heard of it.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's your homework.
Yeah. I don't watch it.
I don't remember too much of the movie, but I do remember the ending of the movie where like she saw that the one in court, I guess one of the ladies was wearing the Ross. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wearing the Ross.
Summer shows up at court. She's wearing white shoes. She's like, you can't wear white shoes after. No, fashion has changed.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't. And she whacks with the phone. Yeah. So, all right. So since you haven't heard it, if people don't know, Serial Mom is a John Waters film, and it is about this like kind of perfect Martha Stewart homemaker housewife, and she loves being like sticking to the etiquette like book so matter-of-factly that she will murder people when they break the rules of fashion or home decor or
Yep, you better make sure that fucking salad fork's on the right side of the plate, I guess.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely one of those like old school like campy. My mom used to watch that movie, and like
I mean, personally, you had me at Ricky Lake like that. I was already like hooked right in. I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to watch this.
She plays the daughter, and Matthew Lillard plays the son.
That's cool.
And what I always forget his name, but he was in what was it, Law and Order, and he was in Frankie and Gracie. He plays her husband. It's wonderfully campy and
Christopher
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Christopher Maloney.
I don't know if you guys ever watched. Have you guys ever watched Grey with Liam Neeson?
Oh, is that the wolf movie?
Oh,
I don't fuck with the wolves.
I love nature. Like what's the movie with Anthony Hopkins? It's The Edge, right? Where the bear, it's like the bear's following them, and like it's like stalking them, and like it's picking them out one by one. But like The Grey is one of those movies, like from beginning to like close to the end, you watch it and you're like so invested in it, and then like you watch the ending and you're like I went to work and I like cussed out my friend. I was like, what the fuck did I watch? Like it had one of those, he was like, well, you had to watch like after the credits, it has an end credit scene. I'm like, this is not a fucking Marvel movie. Like I'm not like, it was a really good movie. Like I love anything like I love horror movies with like slash. I'm a big slasher fan, but I really love movies that have to do with like nature. Yeah, right. With nature and like animals and shit, right? Like, because that's the conversations me and Unworthy have had, because Unworthy's like, he's like with nature. Me, I'm not. I'm in the city. So like there's always these times where I'm like, dude, I'm gonna come hang out with you and I want to do all these things. And I'm like, I could just picture myself like, did you see a deer already? Is it coming? Where's it at?
He keeps on saying he wants me to take him hunting, and all I can ever think about is this old Bill Engvall skit where he's taking his wife hunting and it's like she won't shut up, and then she's saying, it's like, what time do the deer show up? I don't know. Would you shut your mouth? Like, they didn't schedule an appointment. Would you just be quiet?
We got some answers here. Rabbit's Den says, damn, Powder, Jeff Goldblum. And then Clint Tassis says he loves Serial Mom.
Yes, fantastic.
Wade Cray says, ideal hands for me, could watch 100 times in a row and still
Idle Hands, that's a good movie, yeah. With Seth Green.
Devin Sawa, Seth Green.
Yeah.
Tripping with Toys says The Ghost and the Darkness. Never seen that. Haven't
seen that.
Jedi Jack had a good one too. He said Identity with John Cusack, and I agree.
Okay. That's a really good
amazing movie.
Is that a hidden gem too? Like I always think all these movies are mainstream. I guess I surround myself with people that watch the same.
It probably depends on like people's genre preferences. I would say Idle Hands and Identity, they're kind of like more towards the horror where
Yeah.
Idle Hands is more like horror comedy. Identity is like horror suspense. Like it starts out straight as horror, and then there's like the big fucking twist at the end, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not at all into horror, you probably would not. Probably is.
Toyota Unlimited says OG House on the left, and then Cobra Dash says VHS is a hidden gem. I've never seen VHS.
There's a few of them now. There's like VHS 85, VHS 2.
Yeah.
It's like an anthology. Like someone finds, you know, like VHS and it kind of goes through. And I don't think there's a rhyme or reason. I haven't kept up with them, but at least in like the first two, there was no like connective tissue to it.
Yeah.
I've not seen them. I'm not a big fan of like horror movies that are kind of like real life. Like I don't like possession movies. I don't like ghost story movies. I will not watch The Conjuring. I will not watch any more of the Paranormal Activities. I will not watch that shit. Like, I can't do it. It stresses me out. And I'm a grown man that pays for his electric bill, and I can't afford to be sleeping with my lights on for a month. Like I can't.
Yeah. No. Another like memorable mention, and it's a movie that a lot of people. It's starring Chuck Norris. It's like Chuck Norris, blonde hair Chuck Norris, and it's he's healthy, young Chuck Norris. It's called Silent Rage. I don't know if you ever heard of Silent Rage. Yeah, it's like a sci-fi slash you could say a slasher movie. It has its funny moments, but it's classic Chuck Norris, and this is a movie like I definitely like. It's like Reanimator, right? Like I was big on Reanimator. I used to love Reanimator a lot. So that was like Silent Rage is definitely one of those movies that I could like watch over and over. And I'm like, yo, have you ever seen Silent Rage? I want to say Fallen from Hoodcast was the only person that when I mentioned it, he was like, dude, I thought I was the only one who was ever seen that movie. I was like, no, I saw it too. I watch it all the time. So it's definitely a great movie. Definitely a great movie. But hey, listen, good. Thank you for sharing, guys. So listen, just kind of like to waste any time. Blaine, again, thank you for being on with us. And we don't always like to assume that folks who our guests are.
You always start this out where you're like, anyways, so Blaine, thanks for being on. Like you're about to like end the show. Like,
we're done. All right, bye.
Do that.
We're done, guys.
Do that every week, and it always makes me fucking.
That was so easy.
No, so we don't like to assume that everybody knows who our guests are, and even if they do. So just to kind of start things off, man, just tell us a little bit about yourself, Blaine.
Oh man, tell you about myself. Well,
you don't have to get personal.
No.
Or you can. It's all right. We enjoy.
We're good here.
Yeah,
we're in a safe space here.
How deep do we go? So yeah, my name is Blaine. I am, like you said earlier, I'm a toy collector. I do toy photography as a hobby, and professionally, I'm the brand manager for Neca, National Entertainment Collectibles Association, and I work on figural non-TMNT, so anything that is action figures and not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I help oversee and or design.
Nice. Now, being a collector, right? You were growing up, and so like, what kind of toys were you collecting growing up? Like, what were some of the toys you had?
Yes.
All of them.
Yeah. So actually, I am a third generation collector.
Okay. Awesome.
So yeah. So
that's so cool. Man, you're so lucky. You're so lucky, man. My dad collected cigarette butts. That's why.
Oh no.
Oh shit. Damn you, Dad.
My grandma was a huge Trekkie, and so she had, the just Star Trek dolls and ships from the 70s, and then my dad was super into Star Trek as well.
Nice.
So he had those figures, and then he got super into Star Wars when it came out, and then D&D in the 80s when that kind of really boomed. So I kind of grew up around it, and though my mom isn't like an action figure collector, she has that collector mentality. Like she's got her tchotchkes. I always say, like, it's so funny when like old ladies scoff at the toy collecting hobby, because like
They got
every
30
Bubby
porcelain
I knew
owls on their
had like,
shelf.
yeah, you know, precious moments. So my mom like had her collections, but she was really big on like she was knowledgeable with me and my sister.
Mhm.
I collect obviously action figures, and my sister was big into holiday Barbie and the
Mm.
around the world Barbie. And like
Okay.
my mom was like, all right, there's a collection, we're getting them all. So my mom is who turned me into a completist. It's completely
Nice.
her fault. And that was it, you know, growing up. And I kind of miss that on the back of a lot of toy boxes
Mhm.
where they don't show the whole wave of the action
Yeah.
figures. Cause like I would just show that to my mom. The hunt is fucking on.
That's so
So
cool, man.
yeah.
That's like the dream story.
Yeah.
Like my mom was like collecting child support checks. She wasn't fucking.
My mom
Like,
was trying.
oh, listen, and I say that with love because my mom watches this show. She loves this show.
Oh, that's
She loves
awesome.
watching it. She loves this show.
That's awesome.
She's like, I'm your number one fan. I love this show. I love hearing you stupid
Oh,
guys.
see? That's
But
great.
no, she's my mom was like, I think my mom was like, that's such a beautiful story because it's like my mom was never like she was the mom that would take us to the store and it would be like, we're not buying fucking toys today, okay? It's like
Get it
we're
right.
I
at,
definitely
As you're,
got that.
we're
as
not
you're
buying
walking
fucking
in, get it
yeah.
out of your mind now. It's
Get it
not
out of your
happening.
mind now. We need sofrito and we need a bag of rice. We're not buying fucking toys today. And that was at the time where, see, I'm in Connecticut. We had them. That's when we had them all here. We had a KB Toys, and at the time, I remember we would go into the KB Toys. Like me and my brother would sneak, and we would buy the the old wrestlers with the with the one kind of move here,
Oh
the
yeah.
classic ones. Yeah,
We call
so
them the Hasbros.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we would buy those, and I think my dad was the one who was more into like allowing. I mean, yeah, he was, he wasn't big into collecting, but he was more of the like, I know your mom didn't say it, but here's a couple dollars. Go buy something. Just hide it. Don't hide it from your mother. Hide it from your mother. But that's an awesome story, dude. Now, any grails? Do you have anything like? And like when I say grail, I don't mean like something like it's worth a lot of money, right? Because when some people they think grail, that's what they automatically think. Like grail for me could be something that has sentimental value. That's something that maybe someone's given to you, or something that you know kind of reminds you of your childhood and stuff. Is there anything in your collection now, or do you even still own a lot of the toys that you had when you were younger?
Unfortunately, I don't. I had a
Okay.
house fire a few years
Oh
back.
shit.
Oh, no.
So I like there are a couple things that were still in my parents' basement.
Mhm.
But being a collector, like this is just one corner in my room.
Yeah.
I have everything on display, and
Nice.
so I had most of my things in my home. But the grails that are left over are definitely some of those figures that my grandma had.
Okay.
She passed on to me. And two of them remain in my parents' basement. So
Nice.
they're probably my holy grails. And there
Mhm.
are things that I purchased back.
Mm.
I actually, coincidentally, just last weekend I was at a toy show and I found
Mhm.
a bunch of the Kenner Batman 89s, and it was the one
Nice.
Joker that like the only Joker, official Joker, that had a Jack Nicholson likeness and actually looked like it was from the movie, and it was like
Mhm.
the face change color.
Yeah.
So that was like the holy grail that I found.
Okay.
And I got it for $15.
That's not bad.
What?
Okay.
No.
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
15
That guy
bucks.
didn't know
I
what
got
the hell
like
he had.
he
was-
did not.
He
It was
ready to-
originally like 30, which is also still extremely cheap.
Yeah,
And
it's still a steal.
he had like Iron Winch Batman, like the Keaton Batman, but the blue and gray, which is another
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And oh gosh, who else? I should have just brought them in, but he had a whole like table full, and I was like, well, what
Yeah.
happens if I get this, and what happens if I get this? And I just kept, and he was knocking money off, and he was like, I'll give you all 4 of these for whatever. And
Yeah. Well, in his defense,
That's awesome.
I've been to like some vendors in like New York Comic Con because I wait till like it starts getting time for closing time. That's when I really start like finessing some of these vendors. I go,
You
hey,
try.
you know,
Yeah, you
you-
try to finesse.
like
people.
so. No, I do. Sometimes I walk out with something that I really want, but like
Yeah,
I
how'd
wanna
that
say,
work
like-
out at Legion's Con? Go ahead and
It worked.
refresh everybody. It didn't,
It didn't
it didn't work.
It didn't work out for me.
You
No,
walked
there was
up to
this-
that guy and said, "You want to take this owl man all the way back to California with you, or do you want to sell it to my man for 30
Yeah,
bucks?"
I was
Like,
trying.
I'd rather
I was
take
trying.
it back with me.
I was trying. I was really trying. But look how it worked out, right? McFarlane released another Owlman, which was retail, and you didn't have to pay $60 for it. Look at that. It worked out, right? I'm glad it didn't work out for me. But most of those guys, like I've run into a couple of vendors at New York Comic Con, and they're like, I had this one guy says, like I was buying, it was the MDS, it's called the MDS Mesco Predator. They're like the little, they're kind of like, they're like miniature like figures, and they look funny. They got the big heads, and the dude wanted like $50 for it, and he's like, dude, you could take it for like $10, man. Like my wife doesn't want me to bring anything back home. So the majority of these guys, they're like, dude, like I just want it. Like some of these guys know what they have. It's just they have a missus or somebody at home that's like, yeah, don't bring that shit back home. We don't want that shit.
I'm not meeting my quota.
Hey, you know what? One man's trash is another man's trash.
Absolutely. So, Blaine, besides like toys, like I know you mentioned X-Men. Were you big into comic books growing up as well?
Yeah. In addition to collecting kind of since day one, I also just always was into like doodling and sketching and drawing.
Okay.
And that of course got me into comic books and cartoons. And so yeah, as long as I can remember, I was super into X-Men particularly, but comic books in general. I think Batman and X-Men were kind of like my originals. And then through those expanded universes opened up to like Fantastic Four or Superman or Spider-Man.
Yeah. Why
who's your
go ahead.
who's your favorite X-Men? Who's the best X-Men? Okay, let me re-ask that. Who's the best X-Men and who is your favorite X-Men? Because they might not be.
They're different. They're definitely different. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Storm just is the best X-Men. Like I just feel like she's just the coolest, like in every way. And anything they do to her is just cool. Like even like her fear is like claustrophobia. Like why are you cool? Like, oh, I don't like tiny place. Like she's everything. Everything's cool. Mohawk, sure, why not? Cool.
Absolutely.
And like
Halle Berry.
Omega level mutant. Oh, let's not get crazy, but oddly enough, I enjoyed the whole like Cyclops Jean Wolverine dynamic, and if it just never gets old to me. So I was really into Wolverine and Cyclops as a kid, as like my like kind of manly, like the more masculine of the heroes. But I always had a thing for Kitty Pryde. I loved Shadowcat.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up.
Always had that kind of underdog story, like
yeah, and I love the underdog, and I kind of was, I was the tiny little underdog kid at school, and I grew up in a half a Jewish household, and she was the first, like, at least in my memory, the first one that was like kind of very openly, I guess, religious in general. It was like her Nightcrawler with Catholicism and Kitty with Judaism. And as a kid, you don't really have, well, hopefully that's changed, but I didn't really have many characters that represented me. So yeah, I'd probably have to say Kitty. That's
awesome. Now, have you, like, besides like X-Men and like Marvel stuff, have you ventured out? Like, I know, like I'm big in, like, I love DC. I'm a big DC fan, but I love venturing out to like indie comics. Like I love Aftershock, and like James Tynion is like one of my favorite writers right now. He does the Something's Killing the Children book, and I love that series, and it's a great series. So like, do you venture out like with other comics? And if so, which comics are you reading? If you're still reading comics now.
I know that's the sad part, is just not having time to read as much. But yeah, I think if something is recommended to me, or especially in the day of social media, kind of just scrolling
Yeah.
Instagram or like your search page. I have a lot of friends who are comic book artists and comic book writers, so that's always good for targeted ads. Because just from following them, I get a lot of kind of suggestions, and if something looks good, I'll read it. But I really don't go out of my way because I also don't get a chance to read even like the the main comics that I try to keep up with.
Yeah.
I've been reading the 89 comic for 3 months, Batman 89, like that continuation comic. I've been like reading it for like 3 months. One of my friends got me the volume, like the whole book. So I barely can get through things. But yes, if something's suggested to me or it looks fun, I'll go for it.
I can relate because I always try to keep up on the newest comics. Like I'm a big Wonder Woman and Green Lantern fan, and I'm always trying to keep up with them. And when I know a new series is going to start, and then I try to go, it's like, all right, I got to go see this, and then it's like it's on issue 14 already. Like, okay, so then I just go back and I reread like Forever Evil or the Crisis on Infinite Earths over again. Like I'm just gonna reread something that I can fall asleep to instead of trying to catch up to this all night long.
I do that with novels. I tend to. You were saying earlier, it might have been backstage that you kind of watch like the same 15 movies. I'm like that with books. Like I'll go to like Barnes and Noble and be like, I'm gonna buy a book today, and then I see a book that I already own. I'm like, oh, I haven't read that in a few months.
Go home and read that.
Yes. Yep. It's sick. Dune Part 2 comes out this week. So like 3 months ago, I was like, I'm gonna reread Dune, and I picked up the book up and I saw where my bookmark was from the summer, and I was like, oh yeah, I was already rereading that. Oops.
Cobra Dad says, check out the Red Room. You won't be disappointed. All right. Okay. Thank you.
See, I listen to a lot of audiobooks because I work, I drive a lot for work. So like,
smart.
I don't have as much time to like read a real book. So it's the same thing though. Like I'll see new audiobooks have come out in a series that I've been reading. And it's like, well, I got to start over at the beginning to get, so I'm refreshed when I get the new one. And then I have to pick back up and then start all over again.
Yeah. Chain Brother says, but Wolvie was my dude. He says Nightcrawler is cool. Yeah, those are cool characters. Now, if you're ever like, I know, and just kind of segue, like I know you're into the horror genre. You love horror. Like if I could recommend any horror books to you, like any indie, because I think Boom Studios does an amazing job with horror stories. Red Mother is a phenomenal book. You should definitely check that one out if you ever get the chance to. And also Silver Coin, it's like a one shot. There's like 3 volumes, and it's like an anthology. Also, I remember you mentioning that you were
this guy just said he has a hard time reading books, and you're suggesting an anthology.
I'm throwing all the books at him.
Hey, yeah, let's
I'm throwing all the books at him. We got to bring them back. So
give me homework.
I'm big on like John. I love John Carpenter. Like obviously, I'm a big Halloween fan, and he has this. His wife, Sandy King, she has this publishing company, Storm Kings. They do Tales of a Halloween Night, and those books are really good because those are kind of like what he wanted to do with the Halloween franchise. It's kind of what he wanted to do. So every story that you get in there's a different writer, different artist, but it's like an anthology book with different stories. Different horror stories, so it's kind of like taking what he wanted on the big screen and putting it into a graphic novel. So definitely check those out.
Because I loved the original idea of the Halloween franchise.
Absolutely,
making it anthology.
Right. The reason why I'm probably one of like few that will say that after watching it multiple times, I love Halloween. I like Halloween Ends. I don't have an issue with it.
Oh, Ends? I thought you were going to say 3. No,
I don't have it.
It's okay.
No, Halloween Season of the Witch is a great. I love Season of the Witch. I'm actually going to meet the some of the actors at Monster Mania next week with my mom. Me and my mom are going, so we're really excited about that. But definitely Season of the Witch. But like after watching Halloween Ends and not watching it as a Michael Myers movie, and just like, all right, I'm just gonna watch it as an anthology movie. Like I've tried to make a lot of excuses. There are some things,
and no matter how hard you try, nobody is going to tell you that was a good movie, Danny.
Well, you know what? And I don't care. And I don't care because I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna enjoy it and I'm gonna be my own critic. And if you watch it and watch it as an anthology, it's not a problem. I don't have an issue.
The only good
I
part of
see-
that movie is when he kicked that kid down the flight of steps right in the beginning. It's like, bro, been there. I haven't actually done it, but like, there's times that my kids are being annoying, and I just like, I'm behind them, and I'm like, oh no, love you, smooch on the head.
Anybody that's watching that, he doesn't mean that. Please don't report him. Okay, he's just kidding. Blaine, you talked about illustration and like drawing. Did you go to school for like drawing and stuff like that, or is it something that you kind of just did on your own?
I did it on my own, and my parents did kind of see that I had just like a natural talent for it. So just like community, like art club, we grew up really poor, so there was like a kind of community thing for single moms, and like my sister would do dance and I would do art classes and stuff, so things like that. And then later on I did vocational commercial arts, and I was going to go to school for that, and my parents, being like the small town people that they are, kind of didn't see where I could get a job as like a comic book artist, which is kind of what I wanted to do, or a concept artist.
Okay.
I wanted to make I wanted to design superhero costumes.
Nice.
And so they were like, oh, well, why don't you go to cosmetology school first? Because that's usually the opposite. They usually tell you to go to real college and then fall back on that. But they said, go to cos school first. I also had a natural talent for that. And my family had a salon. And if you want to go back to art school later in life, you can always do that. And my mom actually did say something smart, because I became an artist in the dawn of AI. And my mom had said like 25 years ago, become a hairdresser because it's the one thing computers won't take over. And right. And I actually was a stylist for 20 years before getting into this industry. And I retired from hairdressing and went into the art field, and then AI was invented. I'm like, oh, cool. So computers are taking my job.
Perfect timing.
Awesome. But you're still going to get action figures with 6 fingers. So I think I'm still safe for a couple more years.
I like this comment from Toy Art Unlimited that he says it's because Danny wants to be Michael's sewer bitch. Absolutely. Anything for Michael. I love Mikey. That's my guy right there. Whether you got any questions? I don't want to jump into it.
So for cosmetology, did you ever try to get like into doing like for movies, like hair for movies, shows, stuff like that, like hair for the stars type gig?
Yeah. So I did more runway than like so for movies and stuff. I know this sounds terrible. I don't like to half-ass things, and if I know that I'm going to, I just won't even try. And I feel like with movies and stuff, everything has to be so exactly the same every single day, because it needs to look like and I'm too much of a perfectionist, and I would drive myself crazy, and I know that. So I would do education and runway, which is great because you do it once and they can take it
you
down.
don't have to repeat the next day.
yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but it was fun. I got to meet a few celebrities in just doing that, like New York Fashion Week and things like that. So I've done hair of slightly celebrity people, but not for film.
Okay.
That's a really good point, because I've seen interviews where they're talking to like people who do makeup on movies, and they always look like the most exhausted people, because they're like trying to remember how they had a bruise on the eye the day before. They have these big bags under their eyes, like they forgot to do their own makeup. They're so stressed out and tired.
Yep. And I know how much a perfectionist I am. Like when I am sourcing references to do a concept for a figure, and it's based on a movie, and I'm like flipping through hundreds of screenshots, I'm like, oh my God, this scene was filmed a different day. The blood is dripping differently on the left cheek. And I get so mad. And then I like have an internal battle with myself on which version is the definitive version that I should design, because
Yeah.
there's gonna be those people out there that said like,
Oh
no,
yeah.
my definitive version has the blood spraying that way, not that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So
Oh man. Yeah.
that could
Dealing
be a
with
whole
people.
nother conversation.
Yeah.
It's terrible. OCD.
Dealing with people who are passionate about their particular character or their particular story, man, they're the fucking worst to deal with.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they will not concede an inch. for
Yes, we are.
nothing.
Wade has a question. And also too, if anybody, don't be shy. If anybody has any questions for Blaine, please feel free to ask them. I'm gonna put a star on them and save them for you guys. So Wade asks, quick question: best hair in comic books. What's the best hair in comic books?
Oh,
Leave it up to Wade to think of a question
Oh,
like
man.
that, right? Great
yeah,
question.
that is good.
You know, Professor
Great
Xavier, I thought always he had
Yeah,
a really
right.
good simple
Yeah,
haircut.
inspiration for me. Always an inspiration for me.
Right.
Yeah, all right.
That is so good. I guess I don't know who the artist is, but and it's sort of recent in the Croatian era of X-Men. But it might even be her most recent look, but Storm, I know we're going back to Storm. In one of her current iterations where she's wearing kind of more of a jacket and street clothes. I really like that the artist went with a more natural look, and they made her look like she had a mohawk, but did it through braiding the sides back into like a big, like kind of fro mohawk. So it's really neat to see someone draw natural hair on a woman of color. Maybe that. Oh, I don't know if this doesn't count because it's not comic book, but live action. I knew I wanted to be a hairdresser watching Batman Returns. Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns, and it's 2 scenes. Well, okay, 3. Sorry.
I thought you were gonna say Prince. Like I was gonna be like, all right, yeah, I agree, 100%.
Funny you say that. When I was a hairdresser, my creative director was Prince's hairdresser, and he was in the Batman music video.
I have a Purple Rain poster in my room.
A Purple Rain shirt.
My kids walk in and they're like, they see it, they look at it, and they're like, Dad, who's that? Michael Jackson? I'm like,
oh,
you're grounded. Go to your room.
Who put this baby in you?
There it is.
Disgusting child. Get out of here.
No,
oh man.
Fan, man. No,
but
that's awesome, man.
Michelle Pfeiffer, her Catwoman hair was everything.
She's like that character. Go ahead.
In all seriousness, I would say Nightwing always seems to have his shit together as far as his hair. That guy knows how to take care of his hair no matter what outfit he's wearing. That dude's got his hair always taken care of. But as far as women, I've always had a thing for mouthy women with big, like schoolgirl ponytails. So like Harley Quinn, I know it's like old hat now. Like, oh, everybody likes Harley Quinn, but like way back when she used to, first took off that stupid hat and she had the pigtails and her unhinged personality, I was like, this is the sort of woman that I'd put a ring on that finger right there.
Unworthy was walking around the house. It's like, from now on, you call me Puddin'. You don't call me anything else but Puddin'. Clintastic says Starfire has great hair. Yeah, definitely classic Starfire. Cobra says Gambit. That's great hair. Toy Art Unlimited, Storm's Mohawk. Clintastic says, was it Dormant? Okay.
I think that's either the artist and the
okay.
Maybe, I don't know that. No idea.
Here's a good one. Unworthy. Toy Artist says, you know who else had great hair?
Yeah.
Baffling.
Hey, you know who else can go fuck himself? Toy Art Unlimited.
Oh man, that's awesome, man. So now, kind of just like, I know you're a concept artist, and you do the concept art and you do the figure design. How did you land that gig, man? Like, and you don't have to like how did you get to that gig? What was the journey?
So the journey started, I mean, obviously years ago, in kind of that being the other thing I always wanted to do. And I told myself, I had a wonderful, wonderful career in styling, and I was very fortunate to do what I did. and had a wonderful time. And I knew
Mhm.
that I wanted to retire in toys. I knew that at
Nice.
some point in my life,
Mhm.
and when COVID hit,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, this is perfect. I downloaded Procreate, an app on your iPad for drawing. It's very much like a Photoshop Illustrator
Mhm.
hybrid. And I said, I'm just going to teach myself. I have nothing else to do. We're unemployed. I'm going to teach myself digital art because I wanted to go green and stop, wasting paper. And so I was doing that, and I was like, I thought I had 3 months for that. And then, of course,
Mhm.
COVID got extended. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to retire from hair, and I'm
Mhm.
going to go for toy design. I'm going to get a degree. Um, Many of my good friends work in the industry in different companies.
Mhm.
And while we were shut down, I started an Instagram Live weekly series called Blainer Things, the series.
Mhm.
And every week I interviewed a different industry professional
Nice.
that I met at Comic Cons or through Instagram or
Mhm.
through friends. And the whole point of the show was to go behind the scenes and learn what different departments within the industry did. And I just realized in a lot of that, like, not only did I have a passion for it, but I had a natural talent for it. And I kind of
Mhm.
just already knew. It sounds really boastful. I'm not trying to be like cocky.
No, go right ahead. It's fine.
Brag.
Go right ahead.
Brag
But
Brag
about
as they were
about
Danny
it.
does it all the time.
right?
I brag all the time.
As they were saying, as they were saying these things, and even like behind the scenes, like when we were just conversing ourselves,
Mhm.
as they were saying these things, I'm like, but I already know this stuff. Like, it's such common sense. And some of my good friends would say, like, you think it's common sense because you're the right person for the job. Other people don't think it's common sense, and it just baffled me. And so anyway, it is not. It's not common sense. I've come to learn, which is amazing to me. But I'm very fortunate to also work with a team that has that knack. I'm very
Nice.
happy with, like, our studio, the talent level there.
Mhm.
So um, worked, and I created a portfolio uh, and submitted it to Otis in School of Design in California, and got admitted, got a scholarship, not a full ride. And I was supposed to start spring semester, and that January I was offered a job in social marketing at Neca.
Mhm.
And after talking to my friends and getting advice and opinions, I was like, okay, I'm going to skip school because
There you
I
go.
could either do
Yeah.
that for the next 4 years and be in debt, or I
Yeah.
could just work at the bottom of the barrel for 4
Mhm.
years and gain just experience.
Yeah.
And within a year, I had moved out of marketing and
Mhm.
into design and product development. And then a year and maybe some months after that, I moved into a brand management role where it's kind of a hybrid between product development and marketing.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
me in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
No,
Yeah,
it's awesome.
the time frame, like that
Mhm.
span of time. It's incredible to hear about how it all, how it
Yeah.
progressed so fast. 'Cause-
It was like, yeah, it was rapid fire. I knew, at 40, like, you don't get many clean break opportunities. And
Yeah.
like a year where the whole world is shut down, it was
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
there won't be another time. So
Yeah.
I
No.
I always measure time from like COVID time. I always compare it to my youngest son, like how old my youngest son is. 'Cause, like he was born right before COVID, and he had heart issues and had to have heart surgeries and stuff.
Mhm.
So like it was all
during
in that.
COVID,
Right
hard.
before COVID, he had his heart surgery, his first heart surgery right
Mm.
before COVID. Like we had literally just got home, and it was like 2 or 3 days later, like
Mm.
everything shut
Shut
down.
down.
COVID
Mm.
like shut
Yeah.
down everything. So like I always think about, when I reflect on the COVID years, it's like, oh man, that was Charlie. That was Charlie years
Mm.
old. And I was like, holy shit, that was. It
That's
seems like it
awesome.
was forever ago now, but man, it seemed like it was dragging on when we were going through it. So to
Mhm.
hear how your profession, like or your journey, like progressed in that length of time. You know, my son's still pretty young, so that's why I keep looking at it as just like, wow, he blew up in the same time that my son has been born.
I love how COVID just like took like so many people who weren't like doing like I remember doing like I was a big inbox collector. I was the guy that I didn't like the dents in the corner and I didn't like the heads tilted. Like my package for any figure that I purchased had to be like pristine. It had to be. I still like when I still buy Blu-rays and I like pick out the back. I never grab from the front. I always grab from the back. I'm like that. So like it's crazy like how COVID happened and like I always make the joke and it's true. It's not a joke. I started YouTube and I started reviewing toys, opening toys, but I was reviewing my friends' toys because I didn't want to open my own fucking toys. So I was like, hey, can I review that toy and open your toy and not open mine? So, but then like I think I don't know what happened. I think one day I think something happened to one of the packages I opened. It.
You realized you weren't any good at it and your friends weren't buying all these toys.
They were like, they actually had a budget and I wanted to continue to go. And I was like, you guys don't want to open these motherfuckers? So like, yeah, but it's crazy how like a lot of people like that probably weren't like they were camera shy or even like just started shows and even like did stuff like that. Like they were just doing these things because that's all they did. I used to work at a school at the time. I was a behavioral tech at a school. I'm currently working at a hospital now. I was doing both. I'm working at the hospital full time now. So COVID was rough. Like during that hospital time, it was rough. But like, yeah, like it's crazy how many people like I've heard so many stories of like people just saying like, yeah, man, like one day I just started making like cribs out of like toilet tissue. Like what the fuck? Like how the fuck did you do that? Like
we gotta get that guy on the show.
It's actually not a guy, it's my ex-wife. Hey, love you, honey. now what would you say is your so far has been the best experience that you've had? I know you probably have had many, but what would you say is like the main best experience that you've had doing the work that you're doing right now?
Oh, man, I'm glad that you specified like for best time he's had per line of work because like my mind went a million different places. Like
no,
I'm an old man right now, but I remember losing my virginity was pretty fucking
cool. Right.
Are you like the only person in the world who had a cool losing virginity?
No,
I don't know if I'd ever be like, that was
think
cool.
It was. I had a great time. I had a great time. It's a very short story. I can tell you
that. I wish I could say the same, but you know,
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I got too many kids. that happened. So, what was your best experience? I know, again, you probably had so many great moments, but which moment did you feel like sticks out the most? And like just this journey, like not even before Neca, like is there a certain time that was just like, you know what, this is fucking dope?
Yeah. Gosh, there are so many that mean a lot for different reasons. Like the two that come to mind, like my best friend who is such like an insane support system, and kind of really pushed me to just let go of the reins a little bit and make a change and do the plunge.
Okay.
And I got to, and that's Steve Ozer. He works for Mattel and Action Figure Attack on Instagram.
Nice.
I got to sit next to him on a San Diego Comic-Con panel this past year, in a panel that we always went to go watch before either of us were in the industry. So that was very surreal.
Yeah.
And it was about getting into the industry. So it was just really,
that's awesome.
Meeting Cassandra Peterson and working with her is insane and incredible. Yeah, they're probably the two that kind of come to mind, but I have like such like personal
I have
Once.
that was the one I was gonna mention because I know you talked about it during the TPC episode, like meeting. You're a big Elvira fan, right? Like being able to like being a fan of hers and watching her, and to be able to actually work with her, right? Like how was that experience, right? Because you know that's like once in a lifetime type of chance, like right? Like we don't like I would love to meet Arnold or Jim Carrey. Like that's like my bucket list of people I would love to meet, like before I go. So like how was that experience?
Uh, very validating, which is good
Mm-hmm.
because when you like, the whole quote, "Don't meet your heroes."
Mm-hmm.
I've experienced that side of it too,
Mm-hmm.
and it's always nice with any of the talent that I get to work with. It's always nice when they either live up to their expectations and or exceed it, or they're just pleasant to
Yeah.
you because it's work, right? They don't have to be
Yeah.
nice to you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even when they're meeting fans, they don't have to be. But at
Yeah.
work, it's like, you're the hired help. Yeah. So it's always nice when they treat you like a person. And particularly with her, it was very validating because the first time that we had met was just kind of like a casual dinner. And,
Mm-hmm.
of course, we're bringing up work and stuff. And um, I was like Elviraing everyone at the table, like, oh, maybe we could do this or we could do that. And, someone would say, like, oh, but I don't know if that really speaks to on brand Elvira. And then the one was, someone said, like, oh, I don't know if that really like says Elvira. And I was like, yeah, but in the movie, when she did this, and as I was saying it, she said the quote as well. And I was like, oh, okay. So if I die tonight, I'm probably okay.
Life
Yeah.
well lived.
Like I like verbatim and in tandem said an Elvira quote with Cassandra Peterson.
That's dope, man.
I'm good. And then her manager had turned to me at that point and was like, okay, so your shit. I think this guy needs like a promotion or whatever to like brand
That's
me.
so
Nice.
That's so
Um,
fucking cool. That's dope.
So that it was just really nice to know that they understood it and they knew that I understood it, because she's really great to work with. They're very
Yeah.
hands-on and they
Yeah.
have ideas. Like Cassandra had pitched an idea and did like a mock-up like commercial, like herself, like she like filmed this thing. And I obviously can't tell you what it is, but I was like, that's so cool that like, because you don't always work with talent that understands action figures, and they don't have to, right? It's not,
Yeah.
we're making
Yeah.
something off of a character they played.
Yeah.
But it's so cool when talent likes action figures or gets it or has like that vision.
Yeah.
And with her, it's really, and that's like my humor. I grew up with very like Elvira, Pee Wee Herman kind of puns and plays on words and
Pee Wee.
yeah. So that's always fun too. I write
Pee-wee.
her copy for like, like when you see the official
Yeah.
posts on Neca, I write the copy and I always slip in like very Elvira jokes. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's so funny. Did I actually say that? That's a good one too. When she says, did I say that? Is that and I'm like,
That's
no,
so
I just
cool.
made it up. So
That's so awesome, man.
yeah,
That's
I know.
fantastic.
I turn and I'm usually good
That-
around people, but that one she gets me.
No, dude, I like best memory of Elvira, the movie Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. That movie, like we used to watch that movie, but that was the movie that at the end of the movie, like remember, the scene where she's like performing and she's doing
Are you
dance.
seriously asking him if he knows the scene?
No, I'm not. But like, she does the dance, and like, I'm asking you
The
more.
tassels.
Yeah, the tassels. So like, that was like that one scene where like my mom was like, "All right, you guys gotta leave the living room. You gotta go." I was like, "Oh," but then
I
Dad's
remember
like,
my aunt slapping her hands over my eyes at that.
"Oh man,
That is not a stunt double.
that's wow,
Cassandra
God
Peterson
bless her.
does that.
wow."
Bless her.
I didn't get to meet
Protect
her
that woman at all costs.
Yeah, for real, seriously. She looks fantastic. Still looks. Oh my god,
Very
amazing.
legitimately.
So I was actually I didn't get to like meet her at New York Comic Con because her line was like extremely long. It was super long. But like I like just it's nice to see how much of like these fans that she still has and how much of a pleasant person she is. Because you're right, there are times you meet these people and like you think like I met the Honky Tonk Man. This is a classic old school wrestler from back in the day, and I think he's a fucking prick. And he's a prick. He made a comment once, and like I asked him for a photo, and he like just gave me the cold shoulder. I was like, I looked up, I was like, "Fuck you, man! I'm going to the JBL." And JBL was like, he was like the worst person on TV, but the nicest person when you met. He was like, "Yeah, come take a photo with me." I was like, "How much do I pay?" He's like, "Come on, just take a photo." I was like, "He's the nicest fucking guy in the world." So like. It's so nice to see, like,
whatever you do, don't meet Michael Jordan. That fucking guy is an asshole. He is one of the biggest fucking assholes you'll ever deal with.
Yeah, I've seen videos of him. He just doesn't. Yeah, he's not a very pleasant. It doesn't seem like a very pleasant guy. But again, going back to you were saying too, like, you know, do they? I mean, there is a level of like you should be nice to some people. Like it's just some of them are just like they're just. I don't know. You meet them and they're like John Cena.
Whatever
right?
you do, don't step out in front of my car. My brakes are kind of dodgy.
Now, besides that's amazing. But like, I want to get into the story. So I went to New York Comic Con this past year, and there was this exclusive figure that NECA had. They had two. They had a glow in the dark Phantom of the Opera, but they had this specific figure. It was a Ghostface Scream figure, right?
You really want to bring this up and open up old wounds? You really want to open up old wounds with me right here on this show?
Yeah. Funny story. So I went to Comic-Con and Unworthy was calling me. We were talking. And he's like, "Hey, dude, see if you could grab me one of those Ghostface figures." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go. Maybe I'll see what's going on." So I remember going, and I can't remember if it was you or no, it wasn't you. I know you were like talking to someone. It was another person around the corner. I said, "Hey, what's the limit? Like, how much can you buy one?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, it's only one per person. That's how we're doing it." You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, no problem, fine. So then I like tried to get like one of my friends. I was like, "Listen, I'll give you some money. Just go and buy one because my buddy really wants one. I want to get him one." So then he goes and it's like fucking sold out. Not surprising, it's sold out. New hood, different face plates, and it was like fucking NECA horror. Yeah, I'm buying this shit. So I had to reach out. So that's the story with that. So now I know you have a lot to do with this figure. Like, tell me how was that process? Just being able to land something because you're a big Scream fan. From what I know, obviously the background says it all. Like the background just tells it all. So you're a big Scream fan. First of all, why? What makes you so much of a Scream fan? Why do you like that movie so much?
I love horror. I love slasher, particularly. And it was just our generation's. Well, I'm saying our like I don't even know how old you guys are, but it was my generation's.
It's our generation.
Yeah,
our generation.
If you were alive in the 90s, it was your generation's kind of reclaim to horror. We kind of had some dark days with horror in the late 80s, very early 90s, and all the IPs that I loved, I grew up with. Funny enough, I'm like a second generation horror lover too. My mom cannot stand horror because my grandma was so into horror, and it scared the living shit out of her.
My mom loves horror. That's why I'm taking.
That's awesome.
With me. Fuck yeah.
so my grandma would like. I'm not kidding. Like 6 years old, my grandma would be letting us watch. Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and Halloween.
That's a good grandma you get.
Yeah. So I was desensitized at a young age with slasher. So I loved slasher, and at my age, it was kind of, I like to think, the sweet spot in between camp and ridiculous. So when I first started watching these movies, they were scary, but also very campy and poked fun almost at itself. So anytime something's self-aware, I love when like the fourth wall is broken or self-deprecating humor. So I loved how meta Scream was and how they not only referenced horror as a genre, but referenced specific horror and spoke to all of the horror fans. Like, that movie was about us.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, I just clung to it, and I love a good twist. I always tell people that I hate surprises, because if you say, hey, I got a surprise for you, it's no longer a surprise.
Yeah.
And I just remember being, what was I, 16 when 15, whenever the movie came out, or however old I was when it came out. I just remember all of like the posters and the commercials and the interviews. Like, we very legitimately thought that Drew Barrymore was the star of this movie. And
Right.
and they didn't even, like, it was in all the promo. Like, they did
Poor
a
Drew.
wonderful job at marketing this
Yeah.
for this twist, and they didn't even Janet Leigh it. They took Psycho and like amped it up, and 10 minutes in, she's like disemboweled hanging from a tree, and you're like, what the fuck? And like, you saw like the ghost
Yeah.
face in like, all the lights were on. It was unlike any horror movie. Well, I can't say that, but you know, it really, everything mixed together just melded so perfectly and broke tropes while also pointing fun at tropes, and then keeping just the right amount of tropes to say, like, this is what makes a good horror movie good.
Yeah.
So it was just fun. And I remember the ghost, it was great that they used, so genius, that they used a pre-existing Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Because you just
something you could go pick up off
Yeah.
the shelf.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. You had to pre-establish all of these other monsters, right? And with this, it was like, oh, you know, it's already a character that we know. And I think that also, there are aspects of that in all the great horror movies. Like, you look at the original Halloween was actually a Captain Kirk Halloween mask that they kind of effed up and spray painted, and then, you know, Friday the 13th, it's just a ski mask. So I really love when they're able to take a killer that's based off of something that's not particularly scary, and give you
One of my favorite. No, I was gonna
go back to your point there. That was one of the things about Ghostface that always kind of freaked me out the most. That, like, was always kind of made him like one of the more threatening characters, is that he didn't need to have the lights off. That fucker would come right through your house with all the lights on. You know, other scary movies, you know, everybody, it's always dark and people are trying to get the lights on to stop them. And this guy, he'd bust right through your fucking door and slice your throat while the lights are on. Don't care.
But also too, it's not knowing who it is, and like, it could be any. Like, that's the reference they were using in, I want to say, part 5 and 6, right? It was like, it could be anyone. It can. We were like, it could be anybody, like, in the school, like, that was doing this. But like, one of the things that I love so much about the film is that it, like you said, it definitely did poke at a lot of like the horror movies and stuff, because you're right. Like, I remember watching like the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, right? How campy, how like silly they got after like part 2, right? How silly they got. And it's just like, it wasn't like the same. I mean, I still enjoy them to this day, but like, now going back to like what I was saying, how was that like you being the Scream fan? How were you able to like be able to like have that? Because I remember you saying this was like your first official project. That was you, right? You're the Scream guy. You're the Ghostface guy, right? That's how everybody refers to you. You're the Ghostface guy. So how did you land that? How did that work out?
So right before I started at Neca, we released the first Ghostface Ultimate, and funny enough, I was friends with one of the painters that I work with now, and I was friends with Randy, our VP of product development, before I had started at Neca. And I would go up to visit the studio, see, you know, what they were doing, talk with them, and he had actually gifted me the first pre-production sample Ultimate Ghostface, and he's like, "Here, like, this is for you, because I know you're the, like you said, you're the Ghostface guy." So that was like really cool. And then fast forward, obviously I worked there, everything, and to ride on the coattails, because our action figures are Ghostface specific, so we deal specifically through the licensor who Fun World, who owns the Halloween costumes. And obviously to ride the coattails and success of a new Scream movie coming, Fun World contacted us and said, there's a new Scream movie coming, so obviously we're going to push all new ghost face masks for Fun World, and if you have any ideas for another Ghostface Ultimate, we're open. And Randy, I was working in the other building because I was on marketing still, and he called me and asked if I could come over, and I'm pretty sure I was like terrified, thinking I got in trouble or something. And
this is the end.
They found me out. I'm an imposter.
Randy has the ghost face mask. He's like, "What's your favorite scary movie?"
So he said, he basically told me that and said, if you have any ideas, he had 2 masks that he wanted to include in a second version. And he's like, if you have any other ideas, present them to me. And I immediately had an idea, which is going to be out in like 2 weeks. You'll know. Yeah.
Mark it on the calendar.
I think
make sure I got my funds right.
the concept art was out there. We did tease the concept art for it. So we were working on this second Ultimate Ghostface, and because of the success of Scream 5, we were working on that, and then of course, because of the success of Scream 5, they fast-tracked Scream 6, and I think it was like maybe almost out. Anyway, so we knew that Scream 6 took place in New York, and I went over to Randy's office and I was like, listen, if we can delay the second Ghostface Ultimate and just put a pause and do a New York Comic-Con exclusive. So Scream 6 had just come out. I said, I think that there's a really fun opportunity to not do a Scream figure, but to play on this whole kind of genre that Ghostface really is around, because it transcends Scream. Ghostface is featured in Dead by Daylight and comic books, and so to kind of play into this whole like pop culture icon. Scream 6 took place in New York. It was the first one in the franchise to take place in New York. It was the first one in the franchise to take place at Halloween time. And New York Comic-Con takes place in October. And I just thought it was a really great opportunity to... Oh, and we had gotten word from Fun World that the aged mask that's seen in Scream 6 is actually a Fun World produced mask, and they would be releasing it, which is not secret information now. They released it last Halloween.
That bad boy right there.
So we knew before, I guess, the world did, that Fun World, this mask was in their catalog, and if it's in their catalog, it means we're allowed to do it. So I was like, listen, everything ties together so perfectly. And he said, if you can get it done in 3 days.
Oh shit.
That's that's the cutoff. Well, if we didn't start tooling it like immediately, we wouldn't have had them in time for Comic-Con.
How fast did you run out of that office? Were you like Speedy Guns out, like smoke trail behind you?
Time stopped at that moment.
I went to Flash.
I could just imagine you doing like you do the slow turn like Flash, and it's like time slows down and
moving everybody out the way just slowly.
Yeah, so it was. I definitely. It's exactly what it was. I did not stop, and I texted Marty Henley, who's one of our digital sculptors and also a Ghostface fan, and he was working on the version 2 Ultimate, and I told him, I gave him my idea and told him we have 3 days to do this, and he was on his current projects, so it would be after hours. And he wouldn't be getting paid for it, and he was such a good sport. So thank you, Marty, if you're watching or will watch.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you very much.
So he
Thank you,
worked
Marty.
overtime as well and digitally sculpted the aged mask, which we didn't have sculpted because we didn't know we could do it. So sculpted the aged mask, sculpted a couple of accessories that unfortunately we were not allowed to put in, and then sculpted. It's actually, I don't know if this drawing I had posted on Instagram forever ago, and it's the Statue of Liberty with the ghost face. And the bottom of the torch is the buck knife, and he took that and sculpted it as an accessory. So that's why you have that accessory with it.
Well,
which was so
not
cool.
why I have it. I don't have it.
You know what? For the sake of my buddy over here, I'm not gonna just pull it out and go like this and like, because we talked about me showing off. I don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna now that figure alone is like, I remember reading like some of the comments where people were asking if that figure was gonna be re-released. Now that's a one of a kind figure just for that convention, and like you're gonna get the different version that's not going to be out. That's going to be out in 2 weeks, you said, right? So this version, it's not going to be out anymore. It's not going to be produced anymore, correct?
Correct. And I would love if we got the opportunity to do an updated Ultimate from the original, because there were aspects. That was the fun part of doing this as well, is that our second Ultimate version is so different from our first Ultimate. But we updated a lot. So we've got the faceplate technology now. We've got updated articulation. The mask itself has changed. The knives have changed. Things are much more accurate. Again, like shout out to Marty. He even sculpted like the little breathe hole in the bottom of the lip of it's amazing. So they're really wonderful. And I had said, this would also be a great opportunity to get those face plates from the original look. That way you could swap them out with an upcoming. So there are some masks in the New York Comic Con one that I would love to get out to retail in another version, because like the green or the bloody face, because our original one had that, but now with updated face plates, I want people to be able to switch. So it really depends on how this next one does.
And it has an updated hood too, because now the hood is kind of like I've seen reviews because I haven't opened it at all, but like I'm glad I didn't. But like they have like this, like it's like this bendy wire. Like, I wore these faces so mad. I tried, buddy. I tried. So like it has like this bendy wire, right? Like the hood is different, right?
Yeah,
in this one.
It's wired in 3 different spots so that you can. Now, at that tiny scale, you can really make it look like the fabric is falling. Or
now,
folding.
and I know this is out because this is, and again, I don't want to ask questions about the stuff that's coming out or we got planned. I'm not going to do that. But like, I know the John Carver is out now, and it also has the faceplate style where you could like change the faces. Like, it's not like a head sculpt; it's the faceplate. Is that the same? Was it the same person that worked on that ghost face that worked on this one? That has kind of the same. Is it the same person?
Yeah. So one of our art directors, Stefan, he kind of came up with the whole faceplate idea for. I'm trying to remember who I believe it may have been Lily Munster from the Netflix Rob Zombie Munster.
Yeah.
Because her hair's so long. It's like, why are we going to spend all this money to include an entire second head and waste all the collector's space, right? And it was Demona in the Gargoyles. We did it as well. So he had a great idea to do faceplates, and now we're finding so many different types of figures where it not only works, but it works better.
It's easier to like maneuver too, like because sometimes it's like it gets kind of like you got to switch head sculpts up and down. Like that's such an easier way to kind of like switch things around, especially when we're doing photography and stuff. So like when I saw that,
get scared to death that when I'm popping heads off to swap heads, I always get nervous that neck peg's gonna snap, and then it's like, then what do you do? Then I got to go buy another one, swap it out, put the broken one back in the box, and then take it back to Walmart and be like, oh, I didn't want this after all, you know. And then the next person that gets it, they buy it and they open it and it's like, can you believe this shit? The head was broken. And I'm sitting in the back going, I can't believe it.
Now, another question of mine was gonna be like when it's sold out, right? Like that I always ask this same question kind of. I always ask dio makers like a lot. Sometimes we get a lot of like Jedi Jack is perfect one, Lone Wolf Labs, they do like dioramas. And one of the questions I always ask them is like, what is that feeling like when you see somebody taking a photo or being featured on something, right? And it's your diorama who brought that photo to life, right? Because it's two of you guys, right? It's your art and his art put together in one. So like how did it feel like to see something that you like for 3 days, right? You and your coworker just putting these things together and to see it sell out and people want it and like what does that feel like? I mean, because I mean,
That was also again like a very validating feeling.
mhm,
And I think what made it so special is not only that it was like a doing well
mhm,
sales wise, but that there, because it was October, there were so
mhm,
many Ghostface cosplayers, and
yeah,
it was so cool to see people that had never heard of NECA or don't collect
mhm,
action figures like coming up and taking pictures of the booth where there's just
mhm,
this giant life-size photo of a toy that I designed,
yeah,
um, so it was just really like all the engagement and the interaction that really made it like
mhm,
so wild, and the amount of people that um like again, people who weren't
mhm,
toy collectors and had no idea who NECA was or who I was, like wanting to get pictures with me and like have me sign their box.
yeah.
Um,
This
was
guy
it?
Yeah,
had
I had you sign my badge once at Legion's because I sign my badge. Just like, and I remember me telling you, I was like, listen, between me and you, fuck these other guys. I'm neck all the way. Like, fuck these other guys. I remember that.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah.
So it was really cool, and there was like a couple of celebrities that came by and
Oh yeah.
like bought it and like asked for my signature. I'm like,
That's so fucking cool, man.
okay, but you're gonna, you know, ruin the
Now,
value. You're gonna devalue
yeah, right.
it.
No, like now, like I know going back to mom being that person who kind of like catapulted this collecting thing, right? Like how was that conversation? I don't know if you had that conversation with her and like her just seeing you like just taking this journey from something that started, it's harmless. Like nobody thinks that, hey, I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna be somebody that's gonna make a figure, a concept of a figure. It's gonna sell out at one of like the coolest fucking conventions because I go every year and it's gonna sell out and celebrities are gonna come and they're gonna buy it, they want to sign it, they're gonna want to take photos. How's that conversation?
My mom's very legitimately like my
Yeah,
biggest cheerleader.
that's what's up.
that's all.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's very supportive. Always has been in all of like my career ventures that
Hmm.
all the career paths that I've chosen. She's been very supportive. And uh, uh, what was the first? I'm trying to remember the first toy. I think it was a toonie. It might have been an Elvira toonie. But like the first toy that had like my name on it at
Hmm.
retail, and she's like, oh, like she's like stopping people, like this is my son, like
That's
That's
on the
awesome.
box, and they have
that's
no idea
mom.
what she's talking
That's
about.
awesome.
And she's like, can oh my gosh, let's buy this. I'm like, mom, I can give you one. So they have started now like a horror host shelf. My dad's really into Svengoolie. If you know who
Okay.
Svengoolie is, he's kind of like the new Elvira.
Mhm.
Without the bust or the sex appeal or the um
Uh,
uh and my dad is just obsessed with him.
okay.
And we did a toonie of him, and I gave it to him for the holidays last year. And my mom had a Elvira toonie, and I think I gave them a Pee Wee toonie as well. And they like open them up and have them like on their knickknack
That's so
shelf,
cool.
like in
That's
the
awesome.
midst of Eat, Pray, Love
That is
is
so cool, man.
Elvira and Svengoolie.
That's awesome.
And my Christmas Elvira, she's the director of a retirement facility. She brought it to work, and she's got it like on her desk in her
That's so
office.
fucking
Nice.
cool, man. Well,
So
that's awesome, man. I got my mom. I'm glad you mentioned that because my mom, like I mentioned, my mom watches these shows. Like she watches this, and
She's
I
a
tell
big
her
fan
like
of mine. He says
she's a
that
big
she's a big fan of
yeah.
him. She's
She
a
loves
big fan of me.
she watches the show and like she's like, and I tell her like it's like, Mom, it's just me and my buddy just having fun. Like we're not trying to get a plaque. We can make our own YouTube plaque. We just want to have fun, get to meet people. That's all we want to do. And she like goes around and goes to her. It's like, hey, there's my son. Like her English is not good. She's like, it's my hijo, right? He collects toys and Barbies and all that shit. And he has a show, and I'm like, all right, thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. So
That's awesome.
It's really good. What's up, Amanda? How you doing? Welcome.
What's up?
But that's fucking awesome, man. And I love to hear that because again, that's the whole like mission of this show, right? Like I said, like it's just hearing people's stories of where they started and like how this hobby started and like how much it became something like, again, you're New York Comic Con, you're like fucking seeing your toy and like people sign. Like I saw that you guys were signing the subway cutout and like that was fucking dope. Like it's amazing. It's an amazing thing. Now, one of my last questions for the night, and I always ask everybody this question, and what advice would you give somebody who wants to grow up and become a concept artist or somebody that wants to do like the stuff that you do, like maybe similar or even something different of a journey that you've had?
I would just say to know the world is bigger than what you live in.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you think you want to do something, there are a lot of things that tend to hold you back, and usually it's just you not knowing that the world is bigger than you. And it goes back to I say my parents are very supportive, and my mom is extremely supportive. She just didn't know what she didn't know. And when I wanted to go to art school, and she was like, well, there are no art careers in this area. She didn't know that I could just, I mean, where I grew up, New York was an hour and a half away. I could have just moved to New York. Marvel was there at that time. I could have just flown to California. So just think about that. When you want to pursue something, just remember that the world is bigger. And, just because you're confined to something in your area, know that you can, like, if you want to do something and none of that is around you, you have the possibility to move. If, there's a skill set that you want to acquire, there are so many different avenues into at least learning base skills, right? It was just,
The world is bigger than your hometown.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Appreciate that, man. I wonder, you got any questions? Because I know you got a game set up for us for tonight.
Well, so. I do have a game. Jeopardy can take a little while though. So like,
all right. So I'll jump on to my. So I have a game, and it's a very simple game. I did this with our last guest, and she's on the chat, Amanda Marie. Shout out to her. But like the game is really simple. It's really I'm gonna show you an image of a franchise, and you just give me the first word that comes to mind when you see. And it's just, I'm gonna go random. So I'll start off with
the first word that comes to mind.
Yeah, the first word. I'll give you a few minutes. The first word that comes to mind when you see the image. I did this last week with music artists because the guest we had, she's a music artist. So it was kind of hard, but again, it's the first thing that comes to mind when you see the photo. So the first one, I'm gonna start. Ready?
Gail.
Gail. Okay.
Gail Weathers.
Yeah. Gail Weathers.
Mine is Dewey.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Dewey. Yeah.
You want to talk? Definitely. I'm so sorry that we're pausing, but you want to talk like incredible person, David Arquette.
Yeah.
Like, as nice as you think the character Dewey is, I don't think that he acted in that movie at all.
I met him at a independent wrestling thing in my local area. Like I live in a really small, like redneck type area. Like, it's not really redneck. It's just, I live in the middle of nowhere. I live in the woods, and so the closest town is pretty small. And they had this little independent wrestling thing going on, and David Arquette was there, wrestling some local talent, like just getting slammed through light tubes and tables, pieces of plywood, and slammed on thumbtacks. And like afterwards, he's got thumbtacks stuck in him everywhere, and he's just still like signing autographs, taking pictures with people. I was just like, does this hurt? And I was like talking to him. I was like pulling tacks out of his shoulders.
Oh
And
my
he's like,
gosh.
you shouldn't do that. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I probably shouldn't.
What a guy.
Going back to that image I showed, I love the introduction of the new characters that they have. I really do. I love that they kind of like took, like, I love that horror movies now are not, I love that they don't take their legacy characters and keep just focus so much on them. Like they introduce different people. Like Halloween did great with Laurie Strode, but they gave you Allison, they gave you Karen, they gave you, you know, so many other people. So I love that they do that. All right, next one. Ready? Scream 2.
First word that comes to mind, Aunt Jackie.
Aunt Jackie. Okay. Oh, worthy.
Jackie Salt.
I can't say one word. I was gonna say keep my wife's name out your mouth. That's the only thing that comes to mind.
You didn't make it fair. That's perfect.
You could have just said slap, and we would all know.
Yeah,
Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me.
I'm gonna say Omar Epps. Poor Omar Epps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Should just mind your business, buddy. All right, next one.
This is great.
Scream 4.
God, just one word.
One word to describe the movie. Like one word would the first thing that comes to mind.
I'll go ahead. I'm gonna say
yeah.
I'm gonna say, and this is not a reflection of all of the cast, but I am going to say untalented. And it's for the girl, the Sydney's cousin or
Jill.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Jill. The untalented. That woman could not act her way out of a fucking paper bag.
I always forget her name in the corner. This young lady with the short hair. What's her name?
In this movie, it's Kirby, and that was gonna probably be my one word because she had the best.
That's baby mama. I love.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I love me some Kirby.
That could have been Miss Unworthy, but it just didn't work out.
No, my honestly, my word is better than 3. That's mine. Better than 3.
Oh, okay. So you can use more than one word.
No, I'm kidding. No.
I would say ahead of its time. I really, I thought that this movie I think does better now than it did then. You know, with the whole kind of you don't need friends, you need fans, and everything's streamed online. It's very, very relevant.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next one. I'll go first. It's a banger. This one right here is like, it's a banger. I love this one. This is probably one of my favorite ones.
I'm going to say this one just brings up so much of this emotion. So my one word is going to be jealousy.
My word will be, it's 2 words, core 4.
Okay.
Core 4.
All right, ready? You have 2 more. Ready? Scream.
Wait, didn't we do Scream already?
No, we didn't do this one.
Oh, that was the Scream, but Scream 5, not Scream 5.
Yeah.
This
is the original.
Bam. Okay. Super bitch. I'll send you a copy. Goes back to Gail. Iconic. That's my word. Iconic.
Iconic. Okay.
I was gonna say classic.
Yeah, I'll say game changer. Yeah, game changer.
That's 2 words. You're not even following your own.
Oh, it's my fucking game. And last but not least,
I wonder what this one's gonna be.
Scream 3. Scream 3.
Bangs.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Damn. Wow.
Yeah, I can't think of anything better now.
Shit. I'm trying to think of one now.
Shit also works.
Yeah, like shit. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Shit. That's mine. No, I actually like I'm gonna say curve. It was really fun. I don't shit. It's shit. It's shit. Go ahead, Worthy.
No, I like Blaine bangs. Yeah, bangs.
Okay.
There's lots
Bang.
of bangs in this movie.
Okay. All right. That's
I used to
it,
play
man.
a fun game where I did my favorite quote from each movie.
All right,
So
all right. So
that's gonna be your homework. You're gonna have to
Uh,
watch all 6 Scream movies and give me your favorite quote from each one.
all right, I accept that. I can do that. Oh, what'd you do? Take them off?
Oh, I don't know what I did.
Where'd
Yeah.
it go?
Sorry
This
about-
one's from Jennifer Jolie, Parker Posey's character. And she's playing the actress that plays Gal Weathers, and Gal Weathers punches her, and she's like, "My lawyer liked that." That's my favorite quote from this one.
Can't get this
Danny,
image out.
What did you do? All of them, you deleted them all, and now it's stuck.
Yeah,
I
I'm
look better
stuck
like
here.
this anyway.
No, I don't know what happened here. I don't know what I
messed
did.
it up. You
All right,
ruined it.
let's. Oh,
What
just
is-
fix it.
I'm trying.
Let's change the.
Hold
Let's
on.
see if we get.
There we go.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate. See,
Cheat
that's why I
code.
can count on. That's why I can count on you. You did the X4.
I did the
X4, four,
up,
four,
down,
four,
down.
back, 4, back. Awesome. Thank you for participating in that. I know it's hard. I started this. I saw this on one of the podcasts. People were like just showing, and it's really hard to kind of just think of like certain things. I knew the Scream because I know you're a big fan, so I figured the whole franchise. Let's see what you got to say. But thank you. That was dope. I appreciate
Yeah, it
that.
was fun. The one
Yeah.
word is the hard part.
Yeah. Like I was given like 3 words. I was like breaking my own fucking rules. I never follow the rules. I'm Worthy. We got a game, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying though. Is Jeopardy could take a long time. I don't know how if Blaine's got all night like we do.
Yeah.
Jeopardy is it's kind of a longer one. We can do kind of a concise thing if we want, like first a certain amount of points, or we can skip Jeopardy. Totally our guest call here.
Let's
We
do
are
a couple ones.
Yeah, let's do a
I'm
couple.
down for a couple. It's probably.
Let's do.
I think this started past my bedtime, so we're already on board.
So this
All
is I labeled it Spookerdy. It's all horror
Spookerdy.
movie Jeopardy themes here.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail so bad at this and embarrass myself, but I'm gonna have fun.
I've embarrassed myself many times. He actually, Unworthy really picks like really hard questions. Like he really did.
Actually, I was way out of my element. I'm not very good with a lot of horror movies, so I had to actually Google a lot of this. So
Oh wow, this is gonna be shit.
we'll say team 1 is Blaine, team 2 is Danny, and we'll say we'll just do a few. We'll start off Blaine. If you have the answer, you know how in Jeopardy they hit the buzzer, meep, meep. You just so when I ask the question, if you have the answer, you just say Blaine. Danny, you just say Danny, instead of the weird noises because it got hard to do the last time we did Jeopardy.
Yeah, I can't say meh.
So how many we're doing? We're like doing 5 at least 5.
Yeah, we'll just start off, see how this goes, because I think Blaine's gonna smoke you, and you're not gonna have a chance here. So
Thank you for believing being
I believe in you, buddy. I believe that
Appreciate
you're not as knowledgeable in.
We got
things
Mr.
as you think you
Clintastic
are.
for in the house. What's up, Clint? How
You
doing?
can't have Jeopardy without me.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. Let me change this. Let me go back. I'll add another team here. There we go. All right, Blaine team 1, Danny team 2, Clint team 3, and out of respect for our guest, already it's predetermined you're going to win this. I'm pretty sure. So we're going to let the least likely to win choose the first category. So Danny, why don't you go ahead and pick? We got slashers, paranormal, monsters. What's that movie? And cast.
Let's go to I'm gonna go 500 slashers.
Slashers for 500.
500.
And Clint, you're just gonna say Clint because
I'm gonna say Dan.
Do
I'm
we
gonna
say
say
our
Dan.
name like as soon as we know it, or do we have to read the whole question first? That sounds
As
so
soon-
bad.
Yeah, if you can read the question faster than I'm reading it, and you know the answer, you go for it. You don't have to wait for me to finish.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, slashers for 500. This not so good
Dan.
guy in
Oh, Blaine.
Dan.
Dan.
This not so good guy in habits. It's Charles Lee Ray's Chucky.
That was not in the form of a question.
I said
Oh,
Charles
yeah,
Lee Ray. Charles Lee Ray.
All right. Well, you had it. All right. We'll give it to you. But yeah, next time you better answer.
Oh, stop it. I said Charles Lee Ray.
No, that was good. That was very
You're
good.
supposed to say, who is Charles Lee Ray?
Oh, I don't watch Jeopardy.
Come on,
I
you don't watch Jeopardy?
Don Francisco. I was raised in a Hispanic family, so that's what we watched. Telemundo.
So next time you say KS Charles Lee Ray.
Is it Carlos? Right, go ahead.
All right, Danny, next one. What's the next one?
Let's go Slashers 400.
Slashers 400. This slasher made his mark after unaliving.
Dan.
That was pretty
Dan.
close. I couldn't tell who did that. I want to say that it sounded like Clint had it, but it just
Yeah.
almost not.
What is Halloween?
That definitely was not Clint. That was definitely me. But okay, I'll give it. I know. I see what you guys do here. I see this. I see this little coalition thing. I
No,
said Dan.
well, hey, shut up, because Clint is not Clint. That's reread the question. This slasher made his first mark after unaliving his sister Judith.
Yeah.
And you said Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
Blaine.
Dan.
Sorry, I can't accept that answer.
Michael Myers.
Oh,
You know what?
Come on.
Unworthy.
It's okay. It's late
Unworthy.
for all of
I
us.
take back everything I said. Unworthy. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I had to throw an easy one in there. All right, Danny, another one.
Let's do Cast 500.
This actor slowly
Blaine.
Dan.
No, that was Clint.
who is Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah.
It is Jeff Goldblum. Clint?
What's that movie? 500.
Infected monkeys cause a worldwide plague.
Oh, it's okay.
It's 28 days later.
It is 28 days later. Man, you're
I
doing a
almost-
lot better at this than I thought you were.
I almost said Outbreak. I would have been
I was
wrong.
thinking Planet of the Apes.
Well, I mean, it's kind of that.
I was thinking, any of those 857 movies where
Yeah,
an
right.
outbreak.
Let's go with what's Cast 400.
Cast for 400. This actor portrayed a character who discovers he has psychic powers after waking
Clint.
from a coma.
Yeah, I don't.
What?
I don't.
Christopher Walken. Who is Christopher Walken?
Yeah, nice.
All right.
Blaine, are you all right over there?
Not even awake.
Let's give him one.
No, please. I'm terrible at games, but this is real fun.
All right. Let's do Paranormal for 500.
Paranormal 500. This possessed doll got its
Dan.
own spin-off. No, I gotta say that sounded like Blaine first.
It was.
Who was Annabelle?
You're colorblind and deaf.
Well, I'm not watching the screen, asshole. I'm looking at the Jeopardy game.
Oh my!
It is Annabelle.
Nice.
All right. Go ahead, Blaine. Next category.
I guess we haven't done monsters. Let's do monsters for 500.
Nice.
Monsters for 500. This is the hour of which you should
Dan.
never be. Danny?
What is Gremlins?
Oh, Blaine.
Blaine, go ahead.
Fuck, I read it wrong.
Midnight. What is
Fuck,
midnight?
I read it wrong. Yeah, I read it wrong. I'm a little ahead of yourself. That's all right. You got this. I give you that.
All right, Blaine's making his triumphant return. My faith is being restored.
And he's just jinxed me. Let's do what's that movie for 300?
Nice.
300. This 1898 film is often regarded as the first ever horror movie.
Blaine.
Blaine?
Nosferatu. I fucked that up.
It is not Nosferatu.
Dan.
Dan?
Frankenstein.
It is not Frankenstein.
No, okay. Shit.
Now, did you get the year right on this one?
I did, Clint. I fucking fact checked because I knew you were going to jump on and do Jeopardy, and I knew I didn't stand a chance if I was inaccurate.
Eight.
Hey, Cobra Dad, are you saying that with your teeth on or off?
Whoa!
Hey, I gotta throw him in there. Shots fired.
All right, the answer to this is The House of the Dead.
Okay, good.
I didn't know this, so this is one I Googled and then re-Googled to make sure I wasn't wrong.
Make sure you had it right.
Jesus, what's 400?
400.
Oh,
This
well, we're going
British-
with it.
This British movie features a detective investigating a
Clint.
missing girl. Clint?
Oh, crap.
Oh, just pulled the trigger.
Oh,
Dan.
yeah.
The
Dan,
Wicker Man. The Wicker Man.
it is The Wicker Man.
I pictured the end of that movie, but I blanked on the
I
title.
almost said Shutter Island. I was like, no, that's not it. That's not Leo. Let's go with Monsters for 400.
This entity, this is the
Dan.
entity that terror. Sorry, I couldn't
Dan.
even read my own fucking question.
Nope, you can't. Dan.
Dan.
The Tall Man.
Actually, I don't remember the answer. Yes, it is Tom. I've never seen it. All right. Coming down to the final stretch here. Danny?
Let's go with Paranormal for 400.
Paranormal for 400. In Midsummer, Danny earns this title. This is one I have no idea. I had to fucking Google this one too.
Wow.
Have you ever seen Midsummer? I haven't. I didn't even know this was a movie.
Oh, it's
Damn,
so
got
good.
me there. Shit, I can't think.
Like, I remember that scene. I just don't know what the title is.
With the flowers and the,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the name
Do you
is.
remember
Yeah.
what month it was when she was crowned?
Damn.
Danny?
Go ahead. November.
No.
In Midsummer.
Yeah, no, but thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
Not August, but
Just give it to him. He got it.
It's the May Queen.
Oh, okay. All right. Nice.
All right. Danny?
Let's do Monsters for 300.
The crew of
hello,
Dan.
Blaine. Go ahead,
the
Blaine.
Nostromo. What is the Nostromo?
What is
Nice.
All right.
Let's do Slashers for 300.
This hellacious slasher is often referred to as the Cold Man in both his movies and books.
Clint?
Go ahead, Clint.
Pinhead?
It sure enough is. Nice.
Let's see. Let's go with Cast for 300.
The 1925 silent film Phantom of the Opera. What?
Lon Chaney?
Mm-hmm.
Lon Chaney. No relation to Dick.
All right. Let's go with paranormal for 300.
This is the demonic entity that possesses Reagan in The Exorcist.
Oh, I don't know the fucking name. I can never
my
say
gosh.
the name. It starts with an Dan.
actually-
Can I say the letter that it starts with? I can never say the name.
You could try to say the name. The letter ain't gonna count. Shit.
It's a H. It's a Habubu. Habibi.
It is
it's
not.
something like that with an H. It sounds
No,
like
it is. It does not start with an H.
Oh no, it starts with an R.
It does not start with an R either. You
D.
can keep whittling it down.
D, right?
Nope.
No, not D. This is sad because I just wrote it like a month ago.
Mm.
But it is a weird name. It's like a position. Yeah.
Pazuzu.
Yeah.
All right. These are good ones, man. Damn.
Yeah, this is good.
Stepped up your game this time.
Well, I did a little research. I had to.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah. He had to make up.
I got tired of getting yelled at about how my games suck.
This
I
is
only
this is
yelled at
awesome.
you twice.
All right. All right. What do we got?
Clint,
Oh,
Clint.
let's go. What's that movie for 200?
this 1920
Clint.
or I can't even fucking read my own question.
I can't say my name, Fat. I'm way too tired.
Nosferatu.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Danny's got a commanding lead here, and I'm starting to get worried.
Me too.
Go ahead,
Clint,
Clint.
next.
Oh, what? Let's go with cast for 200.
Yes, for 200. This
Clint.
actress.
Oh, yeah, Blaine. Oh, damn you.
Nev Campbell.
Damn you. Damn you, he says.
Damn you.
Cobra says teeth off.
I just can't let Danny win.
Hey, man, that's fine. You guys still suck, so it doesn't matter. Go ahead, Clint.
Let's go with Monsters for 200.
Every 23 years.
Dan.
Blaine.
Oh, got you by a millisecond. What is it, Dan?
It's the Jeepers Creepers. It's a creeper.
I just remembered I'm supposed to be making you answer in a form of a question, but I haven't
All right.
been doing it.
What
for
is
anybody
Jeepers
else.
Creepers?
I haven't been enforcing that rule for everybody else, so I can't just.
No.
All right,
enforce it for
enforce
you, I
it.
guess.
Enforce it. Let's do slashers for 200.
Anthony
Blaine.
Perkins. Oh,
Go
man,
ahead, Blaine.
Clint had you by a hair.
Who was Norman Bates?
Hey.
All right.
And we'll do I guess we're just going down. We'll do paranormal for 200.
Mm-hmm.
You only have
Blaine.
this many. Blaine?
7. What is 7?
Would it actually be say how many is 7? I don't know. I'm not enforcing the rule. I just how many is
That's
7?
true.
I feel like, but yes, 7.
Sweet.
What's that movie? For 100, obviously.
This movie is based
Blaine.
off
Dan.
Blaine hedged by hair.
What is Christine?
I feel like this is rigged.
It's not rigged.
This is fucking rigged. Blaine and Dan. They're like, come on now.
Monsters.
Monsters for 100. In Train to Busan, passengers
Blaine.
must survive what? Go ahead.
What are zombies?
Zombie outbreak.
Such a good movie.
Slashers for 100.
This author lost his
Blaine.
mind and Blaine got you again.
Okay.
Man, now he's woke up. He's
Blaine is pulling the Stephen Curry. What the hell's going on here?
just hanging those three-pointers over there.
Good, Blaine. All right.
Who is Jack Torrance?
Yes.
Cast for 100.
This actor has starred in The
Dan.
Black
Blaine.
Phone. Ooh, Dan, gotcha.
Fuck.
He didn't know. He just was trying to make sure he got the answer first.
Oh man, I can't get the name. I know. Go ahead. I can't get his name out. I know I can't.
Who is Ethan Hawke?
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck. I got it right on my tongue. The
I
grab.
think I'm gonna
Paranormal.
choose.
The characters in 2013's The Conjuring were tormented by this demon.
Dan.
Was it?
Dan, do you actually know, or are you just trying to?
Was it
sure?
Val? It wasn't Valak. No, that was the nun. Was it Valak? What is
No, that was
Valak?
2.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Oh. What is the old man?
Nope.
Was it not? Was it Annabelle? There was another.
The demon that possesses.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good question. Yeah.
Why
I don't
is
know.
this
I've
one
never
a
seen The
100
Conjuring.
question.
It was like one of the first ones that came up that seemed like it fit in paranormal. Clint, Jesus Christ, get off of my ass!
Wade says, "What is Betty White?"
Definitely Placid.
All right, you got me there.
I actually don't remember. I just know it wasn't the nun.
What is my dad?
Oh yeah, Bathsheba.
There you go. That was dope.
All right.
That was really fun. There's no
well,
daily double.
Unfortunately, I couldn't figure out how to do the daily double on this damn thing this time. I did it the last time, but there was an option. Now there wasn't an option.
Awesome job, Moneworthy. You killed this one. I like this one.
I mean, it's not that great of a job. You won, and I'm kind of upset. I really did not see you win it, to be honest with you. I should have asked more questions that were a little more. I'm sorry,
Well,
Blaine. I didn't get the message earlier of which ones you'd know for sure. Sorry.
That was dope, man. So we've gone to the portion of our show. Well, Blaine, first off, thank you for coming on with us, and sorry for keeping you up so late because you're very busy. But we appreciate you coming on again. It was an honor to have you on and just to hear your story and where you start, being a toy collector and collecting toys, doing illustration, doing hair, and then moving on to doing figures, like concept art for figures and things selling out at conventions and people wanted. That's amazing. It's an amazing story. It's really awesome to hear. So we got to the portion of our show where we usually do plugs. Like, is there anything you like to plug? Like, it doesn't have to be anything like you can't, like anything plug, like maybe like something artsy, maybe an unboxing video you got coming up or whatever.
Oh gosh. Something to plug. Well, there are some fun retail events coming up this spring. We also have, if you're a TMNT fan, we have the next sewer playset, our sewer diorama coming in a week. I know you're like, oh, plug yourself, and here I am talking about work. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Just fun stuff. Some more Elvira stuff coming out. A new Ghostface coming out very soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's too soon to talk about Ghostface, but I appreciate you bringing it up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have a different version that you can get.
It's just not my version.
I can't wait till I'm gonna go to Danny's this summer to visit and like hang out and spend the week. I'm gonna fucking steal that thing. I'm telling you right now.
Now thank you for encouraging me to buy cameras now. That's awesome, man.
Danny's plug is home security.
Home security. Well, Blaine, thank you again. As far as plugs for me, I just want to plug our homie Vice from the Chain Brothers. He go hit up his Spotify. He has 2 tracks that are dropping tomorrow. Go show him some love. Go show the Chain Brothers some love. He's doing a solo project on his own, so he go show him some love. Go listen to his music. Go give him some likes. Give him some love. Show him some love because they're really really talented hip hop guys. So go show Vice some love, and I wanted to plug that. Also, that's it. I think that's all I have. Yeah.
I want to give a quick shout out to the fellas over at the Hoodcast AF podcast. I get, they were talking last week on the show, something about their listeners or their followers, their listeners, they start their own shows and they stop listening. I don't remember, my assistant's handwriting is really sloppy, so I couldn't really remember everything that they said. But do check out the Hoodcast AF podcast wherever you find podcasts.
Yes.
I think they still talk about toys. I know it's been a while since they listened to that. So
yeah.
Clint, anything?
Nothing for me. I usually just go wherever y'all two drag me. So.
Oh, and if you haven't had a chance to watch the TPC Top 10 from last night, go back and watch that because it was a lot of fun. It was kind of like an unofficial Rowdy Boy takeover.
Yeah.
We had Danny and myself. We got on there and we got naughty on the TPC show. We pushed the boundaries. It was a lot of fun. So go check that out.
Just a little bit.
And,
Chain Brothers.
And thank you to Toy Father and No Chewing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Chain Brothers said dropping 2 songs tomorrow. Hey, listen, we definitely go show them some love. Yeah, everybody that's watching, whether you're watching on a replay or you watch it live, thank you for joining us tonight. Go give Blaine a follow. Go show him some love. Go check out his lives. Go check out all the amazing stuff that's coming out. So definitely do that. And yeah.
And
so
I
Blaine,
have one last question for Blaine. We had a chance to kind of meet and interact a little bit at Legion's Con, and I'm planning on doing some more cons. Hopefully, we run into each other again. And I know that there's a lot of people probably, the first thing that they ask you is all toy related. My thing that I want to ask you is, at the next con, is there any chance that I can get a professional, hair job done? Is there any chance of it at all? Pretty
probably
slim.
Maybe a style, but probably not a cut. I don't really travel with my tools.
I can accept the style at least.
There you go. Do the whole mom thing.
Yeah, I'm with it. Whatever it takes. I mean, even at your talent level, even the mom thing is probably going to look way better than what I got going on.
Oh man. Well, Blaine, we like to end the show with a quote for the night. Do you have a quote? It could be a quote from a book, from a movie, from anything. So we like to end the show like that. So do you have any quotes?
When things get a little too serious at work, or the fans maybe get a little too toxic or something, I don't know. My favorite quote from a movie as it pertains to toys is from Labyrinth, and it's all junk.
Nice. So with that,
ladies
and gentlemen, with that being said,
good night, beautiful.
Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button.
Click that notification bell
for more content.